February 1942. The United States is reeling from the attack on Pearl Harbor just 10 weeks earlier. On the West Coast, people weren't just nervous, they were terrified. Everyone expected a Japanese invasion at any moment. Rumors were flying faster than planes. Secret bases in Mexico. Submarines in the kelp forests. Everything was a threat. Then came February 23rd, a Japanese submarine actually surfaced and shelled an oil refinery near Santa Barbara. It didn't do much damage, but it did something worse. It turned the dial of public panic up to 11. The military was on high alert. Any blip on the radar was treated as a potential suicide mission heading for the coast. February 24th, 7 p.m. An air raid yellow alert is issued. Something is out there, but the alert is lifted at 10:23 p.m. The city breathes a sigh of relief. People go to bed. 2:15 a.m. February 25th. The sirens scream back to life. A total blackout is ordered for the entire Los Angeles County. Thousands of air raid wardens scramble into the streets. "Turn off those lights," they yelled. At 3:16 a.m., the 37th Coast Artillery Brigade receives orders to fire the target, a mysterious, glowing object hovering over Culver City and Santa Monica. Searchlights from all over the city converged, trapping the object in a tent of white light. Then, the barrage began. The sound was deafening. It sounded like the end of the world. For the next hour, 1,440 rounds of anti-aircraft shells were pumped into the night sky. The sky was filled with red tracer fire and white bursts of exploding shrapnel. Witnesses described the object as moving slowly, about 100 to 200 miles per hour, completely unfazed by the shells. "I could see the shells exploding right on it," one witness said, "but it didn't fall. It wasn't just one object." Some saw dozens of smaller flares or lights flitting around the main craft. Chaos reigned on the ground. People ran outside in their pajamas to watch the show. But what goes up must come down. 1,440 shells means tons of hot, jagged metal falling back onto the city. Shrapnel rained down on houses, cars, and streets. It was like a lethal hailstorm. At 4:14 a.m., the firing finally stopped. The object, whatever it was, drifted out over the ocean and vanished. The all-clear signal wasn't given until 7:21 a.m. The sun rose on a battered and confused city. The casualties were tragic. 5 people died not from enemy fire, but from the stress of the night. 3 died in car crashes during the frantic blackout. 2 others suffered heart attacks from pure terror. Then came the questions. What was it? The Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, said it was just a false alarm caused by jittery nerves. The public wasn't buying it. False alarm? They asked. Then what were we shooting at for an hour? The Army disagreed with the Navy. They insisted that at least 15 unidentified aircraft had been over the city. Could it have been Japanese planes? Japan later officially stated they never sent aircraft over LA that night. Some thought it was a secret weather balloon. A lost balloon caught in the searchlights could look like a glowing craft, but a balloon wouldn't survive being hit by high explosive shells for an hour. This is where the UFO mythology begins. The Great Los Angeles Air Raid is a cornerstone of ancient alien theories. Look at the most famous photo from that night. 8 searchlights converge on a central shape. Too many, that shape looks exactly like a classic flying saucer. Skeptics argue the saucer is just an optical illusion caused by the convergence of the light beams on a cloud. But what about the radar? Multiple radar stations tracked an incoming target from 120 miles out. Was it a psychological event? Mass hysteria can make people see things that aren't there, but it doesn't trigger radar. In 1983, the Air Force revisited the case. Their conclusion, a weather balloon. Again, they claimed that once the firing started, the smoke from the shells created phantom targets in the target identification is hard in the dark, especially when you're terrified of being invaded. If it was a balloon, it was the toughest balloon in history. Some witnesses claimed they saw a huge, orange glowing ball that moved in a zigzag pattern. Zigzagging is a classic UFO trait. Weather balloons don't usually do that. Could it have been an experimental US aircraft? Something we were testing and didn't tell the artillery about? Unlikely. We didn't have anything in 1942 that could hover silently while being blasted by 12-pound shells. The event inspired the movie 1941 by Steven Spielberg. He saw the comedy in the chaos. But for the people of LA, that night, it wasn't a comedy. It was a terrifying reality. After the battle, the city was littered with unexploded shells. The cleanup took days. The Battle of Los Angeles remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of World War II. Every year, enthusiasts gather to commemorate the night the sky came alive. Is it possible the object was an extraterrestrial scout, monitoring our primitive weapons? Or was it just a perfect storm of radar glitches, a stray balloon, and a city on the edge of a nervous breakdown? The Army's official report admitted that at least one object was likely real, but they never said what that one was. One theory suggests it was a Japanese Fugo fire balloon, but those didn't start launching until Another theory. It was a ghost plane from a different dimension. Whatever it was, it showed that even the most powerful military in the world can be humbled by the unknown. The 1,440 shells fired that night are a testament to the shoot first, ask questions later mentality of the era. The battle cost the city thousands of dollars in property damage, but it gave the world a story that would last for generations. In 2011, the movie Battle, Los Angeles turned the event into a full-scale alien invasion. But the real event was much stranger, because it was real. There is no evidence of any wreckage ever being found. No metal, no debris, no body, just the stories of the thousands who saw it, and the famous photo that refuses to go away. Was it a warning, a mistake, or a visit? The Battle of Los Angeles reminds us that the sky is full of things we don't understand, and sometimes, the only thing scarier than an enemy you can see is an enemy that isn't even there. So, the next time the sirens go off, don't just look for planes, look for the ghost. Thanks for watching.